This is a global news update on top Accolade news. The headlines: Badenoch vows to ban NHS doctor strike if conservatives return to power. U.S. lawmakers call for firm China policy with new bills. EU-U.S. sealed trade deal with 15% tariff cap. President Lee urges trust building with North Korea. We start today with a focus in politics. Badenoch vows to ban NHS doctor strike if conservatives return to power. Tory leader Kemi Badenoch has pledged to introduce legislation banning all NHS doctors from striking if the conservatives regain power, placing them under the same legal restrictions as police, armed forces, and prison officers. The plan would enforce minimum service levels and curb widespread industrial action as thousands of resident doctors continue a 5-day strike over pay. The British Medical Association slammed the proposal as a desperate intervention, defending the right to strike as essential in a modern democracy. Badenoch argued the move is necessary to protect patients and public finances, but critics warn it undermines long-standing labor rights in the NHS. Still in politics, U.S. lawmakers call for firm China policy with new bills. U.S. senators are introducing 3 new bills this week targeting China's human rights abuses, aggression towards China, and transnational repression as President Trump continues to prioritize trade negotiations with Beijing. The proposed legislation will sanction officials in the forced repatriation of Uyghurs, support diplomatic allies of Taiwan, and combat foreign intimidation of dissent abroad. While the White House insists Trump remains committed to Asia-Pacific security, lawmakers warn his trade-first approach risks sidelining core American values and national security concerns in dealing with China. Turning to economy, EU-U.S. sealed trade deal with 15% tariff cap. The European Union and the United States have finalized a sweeping new trade agreement following high-level talks between EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and US President Donald Trump in Scotland. The deal, described by Trump as the biggest ever, set a unified 15% tariff on most EU exports, including cars, semiconductors, and pharmaceuticals, while eliminating tariff entirely on key strategic goods like aircraft parts and agricultural products. Both sides also pledged to combat global steel and aluminum overproduction and agreed on a new quota system. In a major shift away from Russian energy, the EU will buy $750 billion worth of American LNG, crude oil, and nuclear fuel, alongside $600 billion in US tech investments. Moving to international relations, President Lee urges trust building with South Korea. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung on Monday emphasized the urgent need to rebuild trust with North Korea and foster peace, just hours after Pyongyang dismissed his dialogue offer through a scathing statement from Kim Yo-jong, the sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Lee reiterated his administration's commitment to peace efforts, including suspending border loudspeakers and discouraging leaflet campaigns. You're watching the Global News Update on Top Accolade News. Do stay with us. Still to come. Thanks for staying with us. In conflict, Thai-Cambodian leaders meet in Malaysia. In a high-stakes diplomatic push to end deadly border clashes, Thai acting Prime Minister and Cambodian Prime Minister are meeting in Malaysia over the mediation of Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim and ASEAN following 5 days of fighting that left at least 35 people dead and over 260,000 displaced. The violence sparked by a landmine explosion injuring Thai soldiers has drawn global concern and pressure from world leaders, including US President Donald Trump, who warned trade deals may be at risk. As gunfire continues near the Cambodian town of Samrong, Monday's emergency summit seeks an immediate ceasefire, with US and Chinese officials attending as observers. In crime, 11 injured in Michigan Walmart stabbing. A 42-year-old man, Bradford James Gill, is facing charges of terrorism and assault with intent to murder after allegedly stabbing 11 people at a Walmart in Michigan on Saturday. Armed with a folding knife, the suspect attacked 5 men and 6 women, including a store employee, in what authorities describe as a random mass stabbing. All victims aged between 21 and 84 are expected to survive. Sheriff Michael O'Shea praised quick-thinking citizens, one armed, who helped corner the suspect before police arrived and arrested him without incident. Investigators with FBI support says the motive remains unclear, but the scale and intent of the violence warrant the terrorism charge. On a light note, in entertainment, Destiny's Child reunites during Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter Tour finale in Las Vegas. In a dazzling surprise at the grand finale of Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter Tour in Las Vegas, Destiny's Child reunited for the first time in 7 years, thrilling fans with a medley of classics like Lose My Breath and Bootylicious. Beyoncé was joined on stage by Kelly Rowland and Michelle Williams, as well as some special guests including Jay-Z and country star Shabuzi, even her 13-year-old daughter, Blue Ivy. The high-energy 3-hour show closed out a record-breaking tour inspired by her Grammy-winning 2024 album, Cowboy Carter, with Beyoncé later sharing a photo of the iconic trio on Instagram, no caption needed. Now in sports, England's Lionesses win Euro 2025.
Incredible. Oh my God. It was a roller coaster. We felt so emotional, so stressed.
England's Lionesses retained their European crown in dramatic fashion, defeating Spain 3-1 in a penalty shootout after a gripping 1-1 draw in the Euro 2025 final in Basel. Chloe Kelly slaughtered the decisive spot kick, sealing another fairy tale moment after assisting the equalizer and previously scoring the winner in the 2022 final. Spain had taken the lead in the first half, but Alicia Russo headed England level in the 57th minute. Despite dominating possession, Spain couldn't break England's resilient defense in extra time and missed key penalties in the shootout. Goalkeeper Hannah Hampton called the win unbelievable, while Kelly celebrated with a now trademark run. That concludes our global news updates for today. Stay tuned for more global news and developments. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ojoromi Okocha. Connect and engage with us on all our social media handles. Do have a wonderful day.